Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another thrilling installment of the RSF1 F2 season. I'm Primus Gaming, and joined with me yet again is Vettel SF1. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing very good. I was ticking the box, making sure that was done.
So we've transitioned from the new circuits to now Barcelona. You know, we've said goodbye to Hanoi, we said goodbye to Zandvoort, and now we're back onto the normal F1 calendar. So Spain now, we've got a full grid for today, so a full 20 cars. That's what I like to see. And yeah, I was just thinking, now that we cleared those, do you think we'll see a lot more action into the next coming races?
Yeah, I believe it's Monaco next, isn't it? Or is that different again? No, it's Baku.
There's Monaco next.
Baku. Oh no,
Baku?
Yeah, I thought that was done.
Yeah, it goes Monaco, then Baku. Christ. You go from one hard track to another straight away. Rightio, so we're in the Circuit de Catalunya. Got a little bit of information about this track in case any of you have not heard about this track before. The track is in Montemelo in Catalonia, and that's in Spain. And, well, it's had lots of major events such as Formula 1, MotoGP, the Porsche racing, etc, etc. It's been quite a few different things there. The length for the track is 4.6 kilometers. That's 2.89 miles. And it's got 16 corners, and the Formula 1 race lap record goes to Valtteri Bottas, who actually got the lap record this year in his Mercedes with a 118.183. So maybe, just maybe, the lads here could maybe even beat Valtteri Bottas' time of a 118.1, but we have to wait and see as we get into qualifying. And also, the track does have a motorcycle configuration to make sure it's more suitable and safer for the MotoGP riders, as the extension of the track is 4.6... Well, actually, no, it's taken down just a tiny bit to make it a bit easier on the bikes, but it's 4.627 kilometers, which is 2.875 miles. But yeah, this is a very interesting track, and it's had lots of controversial moments back in the past. But we'll start off with you, Vettel. What would you say was your favourite moment, not just of Formula 1, but like maybe motorsport in general in Catalonia?
Well, I wasn't there for the actual race, but I've recently watched the 1996 Spanish Grand Prix where Schumacher won in the wet by a margin, if you could call it that. Yeah, that was a fantastic race to watch. I'm glad I watched it again.
Yeah, that's a very good race, actually. I forgot, the Schumacher heyday. That's actually the start to like a massive climb in Schumacher's career. I have to say contenders for me would be the 2012 Spanish Grand Prix when Pastor Maldonado qualified first and won the race, which everyone was surprised because it was Maldonado. But as much as that's a really good race, I'd say my favourite of all time was 2016 when a young Max Verstappen debut for Red Bull Racing after the demotion of Daniel Kvyat, and in the race was the very big controversial moment between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg actually crashing on the first lap, which led the young Dutchman to his first Grand Prix victory. And I'd say that was a very good race, and especially a really good debut for Red Bull for Max Verstappen. And it was the first of many race wins that he's accumulated in his career.
Yeah, I remember that 2016 race very fondly because both Mercedes took each other out, which made the race much more exciting. And
I'm pretty sure everyone at this point has watched the Italian Grand Prix that just happened. So we're going to give you a moment. If you're watching this on YouTube, we're going to give you a quick moment to click off, because if you don't want to hear this, we're willing to not say anything for a brief moment to give you the time to click off the video. So giving you a few moments, and that should be enough time. Anyways, so the 2020 Italian Grand Prix in Monza, what a race. what a race. You know, Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas qualified on the top 2 rows, well, first and second. Valtteri had a poor run coming off the start, left him wide open for Carlos, who took second and pretty much stayed there for the entire race. Lewis Hamilton also controversially ignoring the safety car, sign flashing red with the cross on it, which means also the pit lane entrance is closed after Kevin Magnussen had his car fail there. But do you feel Lewis should have maybe received a more harsher penalty, or do you feel that was more fairly awarded to the champion?
I think the 10-second is probably the more fair one, to be honest. Well, it's the more harsh one than the drive-through. The drive-through will only cost you 18 seconds, but it's more severe, especially with the penalty points. But the 10 seconds will cost you about 30, so I think it was justified. Yeah,
and Lewis Hamilton wasn't initially happy when he got told that he received the penalty, but in the end, he went to the FIA to try and contest it, but then it just pretty much was like, get on with it or don't race, because he went up there very quickly and he came down very quickly, so I imagine his attempt was not very successful. So Lewis Hamilton wasn't on the podium for once, but surprisingly Pierre Gasly took top of the table in Monza, and I have to say I was happy for Carlos or Gasly to win. It was just both of them had earned it, whoever did it, and to see Gasly deal with such a horrible pain of losing Antoine and being reminded of it a year after his death on the Spa GP circuit, to take the win immediately after, that's a special win for him.
Yeah, well, the first is normally the most special for people, isn't it?
And it was also nice to hear the French national anthem also play, because Pierre Gasly was the first Frenchman to win a Grand Prix since 1996 in the Monaco Grand Prix, when Olivier Panis won the race, and that was actually quite nice to see the support from Charles Leclerc, from Romain Grosjean, even Lewis Hamilton. They all congratulated him, and they felt really happy for him. I mean, Lewis was a bit bitter after losing out his race win. Oh, okay, I just went on board with XFR Peanut, who almost lost it going in the right-hander in the third sector. But what was your overall thoughts then, Vettel, on that Grand Prix? What was your favourite moment?
Well, my favourite moment was, I think it was the battle at the end, not knowing who was going to win out of Sainz or Gasly. It was kind of a battle to the end, which you don't really see much.
Was you just as scared as everyone else when Carlos suddenly was like 0.3 of a second behind Gasly as they're approaching the Parabolica, and it was really scary because you really didn't know who was going where.
No, you didn't know. Going back to what you said about Bottas holding the track record, I thought it was still Kimi Raikkonen's from 2008 when they used the flat left-hander at the end.
No, they recently got beaten in 2020 by the new spec Mercedes, but it looks like these lads might have already smashed it as... Oh, it's a race lap record. Sorry, I looked at my information. It's the race lap record. The race lap record is 1:18.1. I need to find the track record.
Something like a 13, isn't it?
Oh yeah, found it. So the current lap record of all time is a 1:15.406 by Valtteri Bottas in the 2019 Spanish Grand Prix. And the most recent one in the race was a 1:18.1. But yeah, so right now the closest person to have nearly beaten the track record at Barcelona today is RSF1 Waiter.
Yeah, very good lap, 15.6 in a Williams, which is a bit, well, in real life probably couldn't get near it.
Oh, speaking of Williams, by the way, Claire Williams, it's her last day within the team, as the Williams family has decided to pull out of Formula One. It's a really sad day, and it was. It would have been nice to maybe have seen Williams maybe score some points in the very last moment, but still, they did very good. Nicholas Latifi and George Russell. Do you think the team will cope well without the Williams family, or do you think it'll, it won't be the same?
Williams won't be the same as what it used to be, but with the new investment, hopefully they can start coming back up the grid from 2022 onwards.
Agreed. That would be very nice to see the team sort of make their way back up and reclaim their prestigious power that they once had when they had the likes of Nigel Mansell, Damon Hill, Ayrton Senna. There's so many different names with the Williams F1 team. Meanwhile, we are on board with the Mercedes-powered car, the Mercedes of RS Moronix. His teammate has retired, Brover Container, due to having a qualifying ban, and it's the same with Element Snow. So if you wonder why they retired immediately, they're just serving those. So well done to them for making sure. But Moronix is now approaching the final corner. Yeah, that was very nice. And actually, we have to say we have a couple of new people in there. A 15-2. Valtteri Bottas's track record has been smashed by Moronix. A 15-2 in a Mercedes. So Mercedes still holding the track record, but it's now Moronix holding it for today. Anyway, so we've got a couple of new faces in. So we've got JJ Hudson. We've got RSF1 Luen, I think that is.
I thought it was Yuan? Leun? No, I can't think that's correct.
No, I think he might have just had retired. If you could quickly check the race director on we'll just call him Ewan. If you could have a quick check on Ewan, I think he might have crashed in the qualifying because he's got one lap on those softs, but he's
terminal damage.
Not a good start for Ewan on his debut in the Racing Point. Also, we have to say, Ripin One Shot as well. Now a permanent full-time driver for the Racing Point F1 team. So hopefully he will do well for the team. And as well as JJ Hudson, I don't know if he's a permanent addition to the team or if he's just reserve. But also good luck to JJ and Ewan on their debuts for their team. Oh yeah, Shrimper, a 15-1. Ferrari on top, which is unusual to say in 2020. Not specifically RSF1, but just in Formula 1 in general for 2020. Ferrari being on top is unheard of. Especially after today's one of Vettel's brakes exploding and Charles Leclerc's huge crash in the Parabolica. It's been a bad day for Ferrari.
Yeah, they've been by far the biggest disappointment of 2020.
I mean, Haas had a really bad year in 2019, and to see Ferrari actually Sebastian Vettel got out-qualified by Kevin Magnussen and Romain Grosjean. And even though they DNF'd and Kevin Magnussen was out due to his terminal problem, Grosjean still did better than both the Ferraris.
Yeah, Kimi did as well.
Scoring points. Yeah, Kimi Räikkönen did as well.
He had a really good race, but unfortunately the Ferrari engine, which is very questionable now.
So I just found out Ewan is not a new driver. It's John Digweed. He's an old face. I just had a little look at the chat. Well, if you're watching John, well, welcome back. It's good to have you back, and I actually have to say it's good to see some old faces return. Because it's like a new name, sort of new season for him. You know, like almost similar to like New Year, New Me, except for it's a new name, new season.
Yeah, and this time not in a Williams. Oh, was that
Got a couple of
Blazerguns?
people in Blazerguns.
Yeah, one person had the same car for 2 seasons out the driver door, or was it? I think it was John Digweed, or was it Blazerguns?
Oh, I'm an idiot. Shane just said that John Digweed never left. I just haven't seen John for a while.
Ah.
Don't mind my moment there, lads. Let's just chalk that off as a minor brain fart. Let's go on with the Ferrari RSF1 Stroll, and I'll let you carry on with his onboard letter. Oh!
Big moment there. Into the entrance, gets a nice exit, straight to third, fourth, clips the inside curve, goes a little deep, goes it slightly with a downshift, goes into sixth, bit of an unusual gear, into the corner, curve one, curve two. For the game, it's actually been flattened out this section, so it's a little easier to drive. Run up to the line, hit the DRS, runs out of DRS before the line, and it's a 16.1 for RSF1 Stroll. Oh, Sturridge is spun.
Oh, Sturridge? Oh, yeah. Nasty, but no damage sustained. All that's really happened is his tyres have taken a little bit of a beating there from that spin. Hippo Man and Alistair, please, put like exclamation mark commentators and Discord. I don't know what that means. Carry on. Meanwhile, Catastrophe, you have to acknowledge the pace of the Williams, by the way, in Season 3. I've been doing very good, especially with Catastrophe's P2 that he managed to claim in Zandvoort, unfortunately being robbed of him by a penalty that he received during the race. Oh, he's pulled over, actually.
I thought it was P1 he lost over the penalty.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, it was P1, my bad. Lol, are you new to Twitch? Nope, not new to Twitch. I've been doing this for a while. Just not used to seeing anyone do their exclamation marks like Discord or commentators. Not my usual thing. Shrimper is retired from the session, but he's on pole. He's 1:15.1 so far in Q1, so he's doing very good. And Catastrophe now begins his flying lap. So I'll be on board with Catastrophe in the Williams, so he gets a nice wide berth going from turn 1 into turns 2. And it's looking very nice and tidy. Now onto the sweeping right-hander. You got to hug that line nice and tight. You can't go too wide onto that green line, because if you do, you'll invalidate the lap time. He gets a purple first sector. Very nicely done. Now into another right-hander. Make sure you don't catch that gravel, otherwise you will go off into a spin and maybe even hit the wall. Good purple first sector. He's keeping very nice and tight. So this is a very difficult part of the track here. It's a mild chicane. Hug onto those curves, but don't curve too much like he just did, and it invalidated, just as I said.
That's the corner where most people pick up the penalties during the race. It's very tight on the limits.
Unlucky to him, but we got Breezy behind, so I'll continue on as he gets down the end of the DRS zone. He goes into the hairpin, nicely done. This used to be a bit that everyone got caught up on in 2019, where there was a bump there. Into fourth gear on this right-hander. Now here comes the part that could really catch you out if you catch too much of the curb. Nicely cut. Now into the final chicane. That was quite nice and tidy. Now through into the last corner goes Breezy in the McLaren. How can he do? That's P3. Very, very good work, and that puts him in front of his teammate Steerage. So a good day for McLaren there.
Yeah, P3, P4. Not that much separating either driver.
We've got Iox actually, who's on a lap now. I think I'm on board with Iox as he's wrapping up his flying lap. Iox making his way around. Nearing the chicane. He's also got his teammate Muddy Biscuit following in right behind. Last corner. Can Haas get himself into the Q2? That's P12 by Iox. Very good. The only...
Muddy Biscuit comes across the line at P10.
2 people can join Braver... well, I know he's got a new name, but it's John. But Braver, John and Snow, they're currently... Oh, Stidgen! Look at that! A 15.159, so only just about faster than Shrimpers. But now on to the second Ferrari, RSF1 Stroll. Vettel, please take it away.
Oh, no, that was close. Going into this section, we're going to take a nice tight line. You can short shift very easily onto the curb slightly. Try and keep a wide entry into this corner because it can get very tight. Goes a little wide, loses quite a bit of time there, about 2/10 going up into this corner. Very easy to lose the rear end. And it looks like Stroll's backed off, and I think he has, yeah.
That's a shame. I think going wide there did definitely compromise his lap. He's at risk of being knocked out in Q1.
Yeah, Eitz is on a lap.
Can't go better. Yeah, it's only Eitz that can set Stroll out of qualifying, and a nasty lock up there. I'll let you carry on with this lap.
So as I was saying, try and get a nice and tight, wide line into here. Very nicely done by RSF1 Eitz. They're not exceeding the track limits too much. Going into the fast right-hander catches out a lot of drivers because you can lose the rear end very easily. Onto the DRS straight, braking at the 100 metre board. Going to second, no short shift, up to fourth. Clipping the inside curb, taking a nice and tight line in, then a wide line, and then straight back onto the power with a off rail on the inside. Very nasty section on the suspension. Then up to third, fourth, fifth. Keep the tightest line possible to the line, then activate the DRS, and then you're across the line to set. Oh, only a 16.3.
Oh, not enough! Stroll just makes it into Q2 by the skin of his teeth, and Eitz will not be joining them into Q2, so that has been the drivers eliminated from qualifying, and that's quite gutting really for some, because, you know, especially Peanut and Eitz, you know, mainly Eitz though, because he was so close. It was so close to pushing down Stroll, but the Ferrari holds on and lives to fight another day. I'll go over the drivers eliminated, and you go over the top three. So in 20th place, who's starting at the very back of the grid, is Element Snow. And then in 19th place is RSF1 Ewan, or formerly known as John Digweed. 18th is Braver Container in the Mercedes. 17th is XFR Peanut in the Alfa Romeo. And Eitz is in the AlphaTauri in 16th.
And third is RS Moronic. Second is RSF1, not RSF1 Shrimper 84, and then our current P1 is Stygian for Renault, the Flying Dutchman.
Very good work by the three of them, really. Stygian actually being the race winner in the Australian Grand Prix at the beginning of season 3. He hasn't had the best of luck really since then. He's not actually had a race win since, and he looks like he has the pace for it. But Q2 now, interesting part.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what strategies people go on. I've seen a lot of people, especially in higher divisions of other leagues, go for the soft tyre, but the wear at the end, you have to be very lucky to make it to about lap 9 without the puncture. But the soft to hard is possible, but I imagine most people will do the medium to hard as it's more reliable.
What about the hard compound tyre? Is that a very viable tyre?
Not for qualifying, no. I don't think you can even use it in qualifying anymore.
What about in terms of a race tyre? Sorry, is it a good race tyre to start with?
Yeah, it's actually not that bad. Traction is a little poor off the line, so you'll probably lose a couple of positions, especially if someone starts on softs. But that's probably to be expected. But you can go super long into the race and then try and hunt down people at the end. Maybe not advisable because the track is a little difficult to overtake, especially with the dirty air. I mean, I've seen a lot of people struggle behind other cars here. So,
and also curbing as well. Actually, the curbs are probably the biggest enemy of all, as well as mistakes. But certain curbs catch the inside, or get onto the throttle too much. Just off you go. It's not very. This track is not kind to you at all.
No, I can see a few people maybe losing it at the is it turn 7? The flat right-hander, the upwards right-hander. I've seen a lot of people, even some of I've seen a couple of esports drivers in a couple of feature races and stuff lose it there. It's can be very nasty if you hit the inside curb there. It's normally an instant retirement, but you could get lucky.
Unlucky from Stygian, by the way, who decided to try and take a nice wide berth going into turn 1. But unfortunately, he got way too wide on the curb and invalidated his lap time.
Yeah, just took a bit of grass as well.
But on board with JJ Hudson in his debut for the Red Bull team, and he's currently on a decent lap. As the cars in front of him, all three of them in front have decided not to actually go for their laps. Grantastrophe didn't. Stygian then invalidated just before he even hit the chicane into turn 2. But JJ Hudson looks like he's doing very good. A purple second sector, and we've got a slow Alpha Tauri who's just about to approach the hairpin. JJ Hudson.
Grunty 18.5 on the softs.
He was still warming up his tyres. Yeah, when he was doing his lap, he wasn't even actually going for it. He was just weaving still, and he didn't turn up his ERS mode, so he wasn't going for it on that lap. But a 16.4 set by JJ Hudson on the medium compound tyre. That's a pretty admirable time, especially when you're going for the harder compound. You're not going to have that extra amount of grip and traction that you're hoping for, but still,
yeah, that's not a bad lap. The mediums are normally about 9/10 slower around here, so by that calculations, if this is a soft lap, it would be a 15.5.
And unfortunately, well, we're not going to see any hards come into the fray unless anyone's gone for a plan B. You know, if they get knocked out in Q2, then they still have the option for fresh tyres. You know, maybe we might see hard compound tyres for the start. They could be a good factor, but we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Ioaks is now crossing the line. P2, a very good lap from the Haas. JJ Hudson still holds the top of the table with a 16.4. But what's interesting is, is what Grantastrophe can do. Because, I mean, ripping one shot on Moronic set 17s, but they both set fast. Well, especially Moronic, he set a 15 in Q1.
Yeah, in the qualifying, you can't afford to go push really hard on the soft tyre because it falls away quite quickly, especially with the maximum ERS. So you really want to be setting one lap on them with minimal wear in and out. A bit like if you're going to do the Bahrain strategy of the soft to hard tyre.
On board with RSF1 Notch, by the way, in the Alfa Romeo. He's now on the charge. Vettel, I'll let you have this one.
Right, so going into this corner, take a nice and wide exit. Try and keep it tight along here, it's quite easy to lose the rear end. Wide line into this corner, braking hard. Nice inside line, touch the curve slightly. Onto the power. You want to be braking at about the start of the curb. Keeping it tight. Not extending the track limits, very easy to lose here. Touches the inside curve, which unsettles the car slightly. Up to 8th gear, the DRS, brakesing at the in-between at the 50 and 100 metre board. Up to 2nd, slight oversteer. Purple sector 2 though. Takes the perfect line through there, exceeds the track limits a slight bit. Getting away with it. Down to the 2nd. Choosing not to really ride over the curb, which is a bit unusual, keeping a tight line through here, and then backing off.
He backed off? Why? That's a good lap. He would have done it. He would have qualified it. Oh, I see. He might have originally was going to go for the softs, but then something might have changed, and there's like, no, don't do the softs. He might be going back around to maybe get the medium tyre on, but he would have done it. That would have been the fastest lap of the session. He was doing good, but he purposely slowed down. Oh, we actually have to give a congratulations to Gruntastrophe, who's subscribed with Twitch Prime, and they've subscribed for 4 months, and they're currently on a 1-month streak. So well done, Gruntastrophe.
Yeah, thank you, Grunzy.
Meanwhile, on board of RSF1 Stroll on the medium compound tyre, both the Ferraris not in a really good position at the moment. Both Shrimper and Stroll in the bottom positions, and Stroll invalidates in the Ferrari on that curb, just like you said. You know, you can't exceed that track limit too much. And unfortunately, the Ferrari of Stroll, well, he did exactly that.
Unusually not turning his ERS down to try and get a bit more battery.
I don't think he even noticed. Unfortunately, I was on board of RSF1 Waiter, and he cut the limits
and
a little bit too
chicane.
finely. Is he going into the pits, or is he going back around for another lap?
He's gone to the pits.
Bit naughty there, cutting the chicane.
And he's retired.
Oh.
In the
Well, it looks like
pits.
Stroll's not going to be going into Q3 then. He's not set a time. And he is the first car to be out. But meanwhile, on board of Muddy Biscuit on the medium tyre, goes 4th fastest behind his teammate. Haas could be looking good for a possible win today. Or even a podium if they can keep this momentum going. But medium tyres, and if they can get into Q3 of them, that's actually really good.
Shrimper's warming up for the lap. He's in the middle sector now. And Sturridge is as well, slightly behind
You know
Shrimper.
what's weird as well? Muddy Biscuit just set that lap. He just purpled the first sector. He's going faster.
Yeah, he must be using the low drag car, because I believe that's the only place where that would really matter around here.
Just stay on board with him for a moment. He's purpled the second sector as well.
Yeah, he's a 10th up.
Even after doing a lap, I think it's because of the less fuel in the car. He's doing better, but all will really tell when he gets into the next few corners. That's looking very nice around there. Muddy Biscuit going back around again. What can he do?
16-4.
But he snatches it from his teammate. He wasn't happy with 4th, so he wanted 3rd. So he snatched it right from his teammate, which is fair play. You know, he has that ability to. Meanwhile, Sturridge in the AlphaTauri is now on his flying lap. So, Vettel, there you go away, my friend.
Sturridge taking the preferred line through there, not shifting the weights until late, nice and tight entry, straight back onto the power, wide exit, then going wide again, cutting nicely back in onto the power, does not choose to go to the green part of the track, going to the wide entry here, hits the curb, losing the rear end. Through here, chooses to use a bit of curb, DRS, the straight braking between the 100-meter board, down to 2nd, up to 3rd, a little bit more oversteer from the car, quite a snappy setup it must be. Going up to 4th, using a slight bit of the curb, up to 3rd, 4th, down to 2nd, cutting nicely the curb, goes a little wide at the final corner, losing about a 1/10 of a second. The run to the line, DRS, and it's a 16.8. Bit of a scruffy lap there from Sturridge.
Meanwhile, Moronix takes top of the table with a 15.9, and then Shrimper a close second with a 15.8. So Ferrari and Mercedes look like they're going to be battling out today, especially if they can keep this momentum going. But more time will tell. Meanwhile, 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go of Q2, and now we've got Shrimper, who are on board with beginning his flying lap for Renault.
You mean Sturgeon?
Stygian, sorry. My bad. Let's get a
Yellow
nice wide
flag.
run into. Oh, it looks like it's the. I think it's an AlphaTauri up in front, but a fastest first sector to Stygian. Yeah, very good. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
pushes
Sturgeon
on.
was looking quick in Q1. key is to not invalidate this corner. Does the nicely.
Didn't. But this one's easy too as well. Catch too much curb, and then you've done it. But very nicely done. That's actually looking very, very tidy. He got fastest first sector, but he didn't accumulate the best second sector. He's up in his time, which is good, but he's not actually done the fastest second. Oh, and he backed off, I think. I think that car behind him, unless he's turning off the ERS. Oh, he lost the back end coming out of the chicane.
Yeah, it's going to harm him all the way up to the line.
Ooh, a 16-1 though, that's good. I think that's enough to get stitching into Q3. But I think when you're trying to mess around with the mode, in the when you're trying to drive around certain corners, it does have the ability to maybe distract you. I think he might have lost the back end there because he was trying to change the mode and wasn't able to pay enough attention to do them both at once. But anyways, RSF1 waiter.
It can be very distracting, that's why I don't bother. Breezy retiring in the pits. I'm not sure he's going to be entirely safe with that time.
So, by the looks of it, yeah, the top 10 are all on medium compound tyres. However, yeah, no one in the top 10. I chose to go for the soft tyres. They've chosen the mediums. Not strategy, but it does work for them.
RSF1 Notch starting his lap. He's currently at the start of the middle sector and purpling it, but having quite a nice opening part to the second sector.
Got K-Mag as well, who's now gone into the pits. No, that's Stygian. K-Mag is now making his way through the third sector. I saw a Renault going in, but I wasn't too sure if that was Stygian or K-Mag. Yep, that was Stygian. Stygian is feeling good where he is in fourth place. However, Top Notch and K-Mag are definitely looking a little bit nervous here, as they don't have enough time to do another lap if a mistake is made. Meanwhile, Muddy Biscuit and Ioaks. Muddy Biscuit will not have enough time to go out, but is everyone else going to knock Muddy Biscuit down? It doesn't look like Ioaks will be able to go for another one as well, so the Haas are maybe getting knocked out. Whoa! Nice lap, but here comes Top Notch. Can he secure himself into Q3?
He can.
He can!
Pushing Breezy
what
out.
What a move! And Breezy, the McLaren, is in P11. Just missed out on Q3. Retired a little bit too soon, I think. But that is Breezy out of the qualifying session, and that's the same with both the Haas cars. They're looking very good earlier on, but yeah, they're now out in Q2. Meanwhile, I have to give credit where it's due to Top Notch. He did very, very good. It was sort of a make or break moment. He had to keep the consistency going, otherwise he could have maybe said goodbye to his possible chance of getting into Q3. But fortunately, skill was on his side, and he managed to put in a perfect 15.9. So very well done to RSF1 Top Notch.
I think Alex has run out of fuel.
That's why the Haas was going a little bit slow. There we go. Ioaks now pulling into the pits. And this is actually a very scary pit lane, because if you're throwing the car in too aggressively, you could hit the wall, and then that could really ruin your race, or qualifying it, depending on what you're doing. But very, very scary place to crash if you did. K-Mag now retires, and so does Ioaks. Only car left on the grid that is yet to retire or pit is Top Notch. He had a very, very good cool down after securing P4.
Yeah, surprising session for me is definitely K-Mag. He didn't look to have that much pace in Q1, so to get second fastest time, I think he must be very happy with that.
Yeah, I would be. It's a good lap, struggling quite a bit in Q1, as you say, with the lack of pace, but Sturridge has left this session. There you go, Muddy Biscuit retired. We've just got to wait on steerage and top notch. And then we can move into Q3.
Normally their fastest qualifying session.
Any minute now. Just waiting on the McLaren.
Yeah, I think he's been like that for a while now, since the session's done. I think it's going to time out. So we got 50 seconds to talk.
Yeah. That's not what we would like, because, oh, there you go. Steerage eventually did retire from the session. So going over the drivers that have been eliminated from Q2. 15th place is RSF1 Stroll in the Ferrari. Sturridge in 14th in the AlphaTauri. Both the Hasses of Ioaks in 13th and Muddy Biscuit in 12th. And then Breezy rounds off the drivers eliminated in the McLaren. And now onto the top 3 with Vettel.
P3 is Shrimper with a 1:15.801. Second is RSF1 K-Mag with a 15.747. And P1 is RS Moronics for Mercedes with a 15.709.
Admirable times, really, especially on the medium tyre. That's actually not too far off the pace of their soft compound tyre.
No, we're definitely going to be seeing some 14-minute lap times. No, not 14 minutes, 1 minute 14s.
14 minutes, I might as well just, go in first gear around the track.
No, it's definitely not the Nürburgring.
I mean, if they tiptoed all the way around the track, they might just get there in a set amount of time. But I think even if they did that, you would run up the 12 minutes that you're designated for the Q3, and also think just about make it for the 3 extra minutes that you get to complete the session after the time expires. But first on the track is steerage in the McLaren, and now for Q3. Everyone's going to be giving it their all. Predictions, Vettel, what would you say?
Moronics is looking very fast, so I'm expecting a very good showing from him this session. I reckon he probably will be top 3 at least. Stygian was looking quite racy in Q1. Maybe he can pull out a decent lap to get in the top 3. Then I guess Shrimper, because Shrimper is looking quite quick in all 3 sessions. Well, all 2 sessions.
I'd say Moronics on pole. K-Mag second, and I actually think Ripin one shot would probably get third. He's had decent pace today, and he's managed to consistently get through the qualifying sessions. He's now into Q3, so we might be able to see Ripin give it everything he's got. But I have a feeling it'll be those 3. But we have got a yellow flag in the 3rd sector. That is a Mercedes. That's of Moronics' car.
Steerage, the first one to set a lap. Taking the first couple of turns nicely.
He's hugging that line nice on the sweeping right-hander of turn 3. That's very nice. Fastest first sector, but as is the only car that's managed to set a time in the 1st sector, here it's no doubt it'd get purple. Oh, nasty lock going in there, but keeping a nice wide berth there, just making sure he doesn't exceed the track limits. Careful on this curb. Still looking good though. Here's a bit of a pain, because if you catch that curb there on the left, it can just send you straight into the wall. And I've seen that in races before, back when I used to commentate over F2 and 3 back in the day in Season 1. Over the chicane. Chuck it down to 3rd, so you get the extra speed and the rotation. Up into 4th, wide berth going into the chicanes now. Just missing the apexes. Going a little bit wide there, but getting a nice tight corner going through the last corner.
15.2.
A 15.2. That's good. That is good. But JJ Hudson, no, he's not. I was going to say JJ Hudson was going to be next, but the Red Bull did not get it done.
It's Waiter next. No, it's Moronics.
Ah, Stygian actually. Stygian just got a 15.272. Oh, Waiter made a mistake going into the chicane.
Yeah,
loses it. A 15 dead by Moronics. Another track record set by the Mercedes. Waiter, however, unfortunately, just got way too much curb there. at the last moment, and it costed him dearly. Meanwhile, his teammate Grantastrophe invalidated at the last moment. Shrimper in the Ferrari at 15-1. It's been Moronix and Shrimper consistently at the top of these qualifying sessions, and it looks like I think we're going to be seeing these two fight.
Notch the 15.6. And K-Mag with a 15.3 with a purple final sector as well, so having a lot of pace there, but must be suffering quite a bit on the straight and in sector 1.
And ripping one shot and validated his first lap, so he's going to have to go back around again. But he doesn't look too swayed. He's still going pretty strong. Nice move around the right hand of turn 3. It's not the fastest first sector though, but pushing on. Not going too wide there, which is very good.
Down to third.
Oh, maybe a little bit of curb there. Just on board with one shot. Here's the real scary part. Across this line here. Oh, a little bit of the back end. You can see the slide there. Just on the back of the car. Hippo Man, what times are we looking for pole? Well, Vettel says that he thinks we could maybe get into the high 14s.
14.8, I reckon, with a peak Q3 performance.
I'll have to agree on that. It does sound possible. There you go, ripping one shot round the last corner. DRS. And that's
15.4.
Sorry, 15.4, sorry. That's a good lap. It's only just a few tenths off of the leading time, but it's just showing how close this qualifying session is. Oh, not good for Grunt. He's going to have to go back in and quickly refuel. Otherwise, his chances of getting a decent starting position for the qualifying session could end in tatters. And obviously his tyres haven't got the peak grip anymore. But JJ Hudson in the Red Bull. Again. I'll let you do this on board with JJ.
In the beautiful Red Bull with the Honda engine, takes quite a wide line and a bit of an understeer through the first corner, but still purple sector 1. Can't have hurt him that much. Now going into this corner, tries to take a tight line, completes it very well, touches the curb slightly. Taking a wide entry into here, clipping the inside curve, keeping it there. Oh, cannot let one in that. 7th gear, flat out through there. Ooh, first car I've seen do that. Down here, hard braking zone, no short shift, well there is now, up to 3rd, slight bit of oversteer at the rear. Keeping it nice and a tight line through there. Down to 3rd, up to 4th again, cutting the curve quite a lot in that Red Bull. Getting a lovely exit into the final corner, keeping it as tight as possible up to the run and to the line. And it's a 15.3.
Good lap, JJ. That was very nice. He splits the Renault apart, and I have to say that Red Bull, that was a very, very good lap of a 15.3. Now on board with steerage in the McLaren, who just does the fastest first sector, but he locks up heavily going into the left-hander. RS K-Mag says Moronix or Shrimper will do 14.9, so he's pretty confident in what the top two can do. Meanwhile, steerage, however, he's done 15.2 previously. Fastest second sector, so he is improving, but it's this final sector where you could really make all the time that you gained stick, or it could all end in a moment of just catching too much curb. Steerage, actually, he cuts those corners perfectly. No time lost, no sense of stress in the car. Steerage,
14.9
with a 14.9. We broke the 14s.
Yeah,
Tectra Lloyd said he wants Mercedes dominance. Well, guess what, mate? McLaren seems to have responded to your message. A 14.9 from steerage. That was good. He actually gained a lot of time there in the final sector, especially when he beautifully cut the chicanes. So the time that he lost no time whatsoever, and he just kept the speed perfectly You get what I mean. That was good.
Yeah, very good lap from Steerage. I do think he lost a little bit of time at the end there, because catching that inside curve can really slow your exit onto the corner. So maybe if he hadn't have touched the final curve, might have got a bit lower down in the 114.9 section.
We got RSF1 Notch now. He's now beginning his flying lap. Vettel. How about it?
Right, so we're going up to the turn 1. You can take a little bit of the extra part here, which Notch does successfully. Goes a little bit off the apex, now up to 6th. Takes the preferred line through here, which is to go in and touch the curve and go back out. Up to 8th gear, takes a little bit of a wide entry. Wide entry. Touching the grass a slight bit there. Not going to be a great sector. Up to 5th, 6th, 7th, takes a wide entry in here, touches the curb, unsettles the car slightly, but it seems to be okay. Keeping it in 7th, going flat through the corner, up to 8th, braking hard into this left-hander, taking 2nd gear onto the power, car trembling under the V6 turbo, up to 3rd, quite quick through there, nearly invalidating because I'm seeing a lot of people go a little wide there. Final corner, cuts over slightly, loses a little bit of time with the exit, but going to the line, it's going to be a 15.5.
Again, a good time, but with how close these lap times are, it's just hard to say with really what's going to happen. Grantashfi in the Williams is the only car that's not set a flying lap time, and he's going for it still. It's a matter of how well is he going to do. He's got his teammate RSF1 Waiter, who will make the line, who's just a short bit behind him. It looks like he's backed off just to give his teammate the distance to move ahead. Maybe you could see some teamwork here from the pair of them. Anyways, Grantashfi
15-1
P4. Good lap. However, Waiter, being the other Williams, he's now bottom of the pack in Q3, so he's got a lot of work to do to try and at least make up some positions. But we'll also keep an eye on Moronix, because Moronix, he has a goal here. K-Mag said that Shrimp or Moronix can do a 14.9. If they can do it, that's the real question. I think Shrimp, however, Shrimp has left it too late. He's come out of the pit. There's 30 seconds left of the qualifying session. I don't think it's possible.
Unless he flies over the track in the helicopter.
Even then, I don't think he'll manage to get through in time. He's only got 20 seconds to go. Meanwhile, Waiter goes through the mid-sector. He loses a bit of the back end on those little curbs there. Sweeping right-hander, though. Full speed. Shrimp has retired on the track. Wait, did he just crash?
I don't know.
Or did he retire on track?
Shrimp is quite old to the league, so I wouldn't have thought he'd retire on track. Maybe he lost it through a corner?
Check the race director, see if he's got terminal damage. Meanwhile, RSF1 Waiter, he cuts through the chicane, round the last corner. Can Waiter get himself a good starting position for the Grand Prix?
Yeah, it's terminal damage.
He crashed. Moronix, however, backs off. He's not getting that 14. Steerage, however, looks like he's safely keeping on to that. Stygian invalid. JJ invalid. K-Mag, however, is still going good. He's 2 tenths up. Faster. K-Mag, how can he do? Round the last corner.
Oh,
and he doesn't improve.
Maybe it was the final sector must have made a mistake.
Whoa,
that we can see.
Top notch! Top notch, just last moment from P10 jumps to 5th on the very last lap. So well done to Top Notch. That was a very good lap in the Alfa Romeo. JJ Hudson now hits a very good P7 for JJ in the Red Bull. But credit is due to Steerage for being the only car to achieve a 14 in this qualifying session. Well, all 3 qualifying sessions, so very, very good. RSF1 Roberts says he crashed. K-Mag said bottled sector 3. Moronic said bottled it again. Love that. Easy pole as well. Lost of time in the 3rd sector. So Moronic is a little bit sour from that. But Vettel, please take it away with the top 10.
Starting 10th, we have Ripburn One Shot. 9th, we have RSF1 Waiter. 8th, we have RSF1 K-Mag. 7th, we have JJ Hudson. 6th, we have Stygian, the Flying Dutchman. 5th, we have RSF1 Notch. 4th, we have Grunty. 3rd, we have Shrimper. 2nd, we have RS Moronics. And in pole position, we have Steerage in the McLaren.
Rightio, now we are finally into the bit I think that we were all waiting for, the race. Right, we do not know. Oh, can you see in the sky? It's looking a little bit cloudy, and the track is not looking so shiny. You know, like how the track would reflect if it's sunny, but it's looking quite dull. We just might have a wet Spanish Grand Prix.
Well, we were supposed to have a wet Spanish Grand Prix in the real world, but it just flew around the track, so... It might just say, you know, dark hole race. I've seen that happen quite a lot, especially at China, which I'm not sure that's clouds. I'm pretty sure it's a smog, but, you know.
Quick question. Would you like to do the formation lap today?
Yeah, I'll do the formation lap.
Rightio, I had my go in the Netherlands, so it's your turn in Spain. If any of you are wondering why we're not getting going and we're still in the loading screen, we are currently in the transition period. So this is the moment between Q3 and the formation lap. All the drivers are currently on the grid waiting for the host, RS Moronics, to ready up in the Mercedes. In this moment, all the 20 drivers can take the opportunity to go over their setups, only slightly alter it due to Parc Fermé being enabled. They can also go over their race loads, their tyre strategy. If you're under P10, so P11 to last, also have the freedom of choice for tyre. And so I will imagine the cars in last will definitely slap on some hards. However, we've got to keep an eye on Breezy, who is in 11th. He's in the perfect opportunity. Like, he's in a prime position. He could possibly slap on the hards and maybe, just maybe, benefit from a good launch. That's if he can accumulate it. But due to the weird weather conditions that we've got at the moment, obviously track temps won't be at their peak. So getting grip will be a little bit more difficult.
I'm not sure track grip is... I don't think it is as hard as, say, Silverstone. Well, actually, no, Silverstone. Monza's quite hard to get track grip because it's not got the turns to make sure you can go and keep the contact patch with the rubber to try and keep the tyre temps up, whereas this is quite a high-speed-ish circuit. You require a lot of downforce, so getting tyre temps isn't that hard, even in this depressing weather.
But it is what I like to see. Everyone was given the appropriate time as Moronics readies up, and very soon the entire grid will join him. But it looks like he was the only one that was ready. Because there you go, Muddy Biscuit and Shrimp have now joined. But yeah, it's looking to be an interesting race, but we have no idea how it's going to turn out. I've turned off my phone, so I can't see the chat. So if anyone's going to slap in some weather reports, I don't want to see it. I want it to be a surprise just in case we do get some raindrops trickle in. But for all we know, it might just be overcast for the race. But beginning of the formation lap, I will now hand over to Vettel.
Right, so in P20 we have the Red Bull of Element Snow. 19th we have RSF1 Lejeune in the Tracing Point. 18th we have the Mercedes of Brera Cantona. 17th we have XFR Peanut in the Alfa Romeo. 16th we have RSF1 Eitz in the Alfa Tauri. 15th we have RSF1 Stroll in the Ferrari. 14th, we have the sister AlphaTauri of Sturridge. 13th, we have the Hayes of Ajax. 12th, we have the other horse of Muddy Biscuit. 11th, we have Breezy 72 in the McLaren. 10th, we have Riplin, one shot in the other tracing point. And 9th, we have the Williams of RSF1 Waiter. 8th, we have RSF1 K-Mag in the Renault. 7th, we have JJ Hudson in the Red Bull. 6th, we have Stygian in the other Renault. 5th, we have RSF1 Notch in the Alfa Romeo. 4th, we have Grantastrophe in the Williams. And P3, we have Shrimper 84. 2nd, we have RS Moronics in the Mercedes. And P1, with his first pole position of the season, we have Sturridge 97 in the McLaren.
Nicely done. That was a very nice formation, that. Meanwhile, the rest of the cars now line up onto the grid. Steerage followed by Moronics and Shrimper. It's going to be an interesting way to see how this is going to go, but I think definitely if you want a really good run into turn 1, you're going to want the inside line. But you need to make the move done. You need to get the move done quickly, because there may be a disadvantage going into turn 1 if you have the outside line, but then they'll have the advantage going into turn 2 to cover it off on the inside, you know, to basically switch it about. Moronics has had some bad luck here in the past, where he had unfortunately crashed off the line.
The only guy on the hard tyre is Element Snow.
It is very interesting to see. And we've got 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go, and it looks like Steerage gets a little bit of a poor run going off the line, and that's allowed the Ferrari and the McLaren and the Mercedes to go round the outside, and looks like Shrimper in the Ferrari takes the lead. Grantastrophe got a really good run off the start, and it looks like Steerage is trying to cover off the Williams on the outside, but it looks like Grantastrophe holds it and gets into 2nd place, and it looks like it's going to be very wide there for a car. I think that's a Renault. Yeah, that's a Renault. That's Stygian, I think.
Oh,
well, looks like quite a few cars have gone
front
through.
wing flying off there. I think it was
And look at the size of the pack in the mid-sector. Oh my god, this is asking for trouble. Look how many cars there are. Oh, there's an Alfa Romeo that just touched the gravel. And look at all the cars bunched up. This is asking for trouble. And surprisingly, single file.
Yeah, no one's gone off at that corner yet, so that's obviously great to see. Both of our people starting first and second got really poor starts, but Shrimper was out the box straight away. He whacked on the overtake, and then he got the toe off of the McLaren, I think, and just swooped around the outside of both of them.
Oh, side by side, Ajax and Ajax go. They touch wheels, and it looks like Ajax just loses out and falls back. Meanwhile, we begin the next lap, and it looks like quite a few cars have fallen back down. And apparently, Moronics has taken the lead of the Grand Prix, but Shrimper's still ahead on the. Shrimper's still ahead though of the pack.
More glitches then, huh?
Oh, it's all the fun, isn't it? Meanwhile, it looks like the car's in the pit. That's Sturridge.
Yeah, he had a damage. I saw the AlphaTauri front wing fly off at the left-hander.
There we go.
Apparently
we see
P1
the
now.
board correct itself. So, going over lap 3 off the line, we begin with Shrimper in the Ferrari in the lead, Grantastrophe 2nd, Steerage 3rd, Moronics 4th, K-Mag 5th, Waiter 6th, Stygian 7th, Breezy 8th, JJ 9th, Top Notch 10th, Peanut 12th, Ripping One Shot in... Oh, hang on. Yeah, I'm getting confused because it's saying Sturridge isn't lit. There you go. Yeah, Ripping One Shot in 12th, Muddy Biscuit 13th, Ajax 14th. It looks like a time penalty just got given to someone.
Yeah, I'm not going to say who I think it is.
Meanwhile, on board with Stygian, who won't have the DRS, but he's got the battery. And looks like he's not expelling it to catch Waiter. Muddy Biscuit, however, is gaining rapidly on Ripping One Shot. Is Muddy Biscuit going to send it? He's looking to. Down the inside goes a Haas on the racing point, but it looks like Ripken just had the better line and the traction to keep the momentum going. So the Haas will have to wait another day for its move to strike. Ajax gets a second time penalty. Oh, it looks like.
It looks like the other Toro Rosso's come in. Maybe it was a collision between the two cars.
Down the back of the grid is Element Snow. The only car to start on the hard compound tyre. He's not having a good day. Meanwhile, Braver Container in the Mercedes. He's got John Digweed behind him. And he's chasing up RSF1 Stroll in the Ferrari. Ever so close to his getting. But not quite. However, Waiter's actually caught up to his teammate. Could we see some team orders being implied by the Williams, or is this going to be a battle for 5th place?
It's a bit early to call the team orders just yet. I think they'll let them race. Well, hopefully they'll let the race.
Team orders maybe be applied to the Williams team, as Waiter is getting very close to the gearbox of the catastrophe.
Grundy's not using the ERS.
No, he's not. I think they are actually legitimately battling. But Shrimper leads in the Ferrari with Steerage closely following up in second. Actually, we've got a battle just happening in the back. It's Muddy Biscuit. He's still on the back of the racing point of Ripken One Shot.
I'm pretty sure Grunty was second, wasn't he? What happened to Grunty?
Grunty fell back quite a bit. It looks like for K-Mag, he's just lost a little bit of pace, but it's still early. It's still early days in the race. You know, the gap is still very much close to each other.
Yeah, Shrimper's got the 2 second gap. Now we have a yellow flag, sector 2.
It's Braver Container again. Stroll now receives a 3-second time penalty. The pressure being applied by the Mercedes is definitely affecting the Ferrari driver. Meanwhile, Braver Container now against DRS. He's going to try and make a move round the outside on the Ferrari. The Ferrari tries to cover him off. They touch wheels, and it looks like just for the moment. Oh, and Stroll goes off! And they make contact, and there goes Stroll's Ferrari.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't get
it's hard to
beached.
say. That was not a good battle there, because they kept the sides to each other too long, and it just ended in tatters there for Stroll in the Ferrari. But he's still got the ability to maybe make up some ground. But he just got overtaken by Element Snow in the Red Bull. Meanwhile, going on board with Stygian, who went down the inside with RSF on Waiter. They touch wheels side by side going into the chicane. Waiter gets the inside line going into turn 2, but Stygian gets the inside into the right-hander. It's Renault versus Williams. I haven't seen this battle in a long time, you know, prestigiously wise for the teams. Very classic battle. Stygian holds 6th place and gets the move done. Very good defense as well, but now that's left with RSF on Waiter compromise, and it's going to let Breezy get a look at the back of him.
Yeah, I've been watching Waiter for a couple of laps now on board. Yeah, his car's very twitchy on the throttle, and there's notching a time penalty.
And JJ Hudson as well collects his 3-second time penalty. Meanwhile, Breezy's now going to try and get a little look down the inside into the hairpin. No, he backs off for just a moment. Well, meanwhile, JJ Hudson is right on the back of his car in the Red Bull. Yeah, it's a very good battle so far. Meanwhile, Element Snow is now being pressured. Oh! Element went on the right-hander, made a mistake nearly and crashed into the wall, but saved it. And now he's got Stroll applying the pressure. I don't think those hard tyres are doing Element Snow any favours at all.
No, the heavy fuel looks to be upsetting the car quite a bit on those tyres.
I say if you go on the hard tyre, you're going to have to underfuel. Oh, we've got a battle for 4th place. It's between K-Mag and Catastrophe, and it looks like into turn 2, K-Mag got the move done. They moved up into 4th place. Then that sets Catastrophe down to 5th. Meanwhile, Catastrophe gets a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, I mean, that penalty's a little harsh because going out there doesn't really gain you anything anymore. But
we've got a beautiful helicopter shot of RS Moronics on steerage. Looks like steerage just struggling with a little bit of oversteer there, like a slight twitch of the rear end. And now DRS enabled for RS Moronics. He's not going to make the move here. He's biding his time, and he's going to make the move going into the straight. But he's got to make sure he doesn't fall behind now, because he's got the Renault and the Williams behind him, bearing down on him. And that's actually the same with both the Williams, because it looks like Waiter is not too far behind Stygian. Actually, no, yeah, stitching's not too far. Sorry, I looked at the wrong two because it's like Williams. Way to collect a penalty. Steerage is at a disadvantage. Look at the slipstream going for the Mercedes on the McLaren. No, not quite yet. He's eager. Ronix is eager because you can see the power difference. Trying to break the slipstream. Steerage there, hugging the inside, but he had to return onto the racing line. Meanwhile, go on board of Breezy, who's catching up to the back of Waiter in the Williams. The McLaren is getting a little look, but he's not quite close enough to make the move on Waiter as of yet. But it doesn't know Waiter's struggling a little bit.
Yeah, it's looking like, especially out of the corners where the traction's required, that Waiter may be a little bit too eager, or maybe the setup's not fine-tuned to how he likes it. Maybe it's built more towards Grunty's car, but I don't know whether they share setups at Williams or not.
Doesn't look like it. The pace difference is definitely noticeable. Meanwhile, Top Notch now gone onto the back of JJ
shot
Hudson.
With a penalty.
I think we're going to be seeing a move here for 9th place as Top Notch is getting a really good run there through the chicane. Oh, and the Red Bull just cuts in. Never mind, it was a battle for 9th, but Top Notch got that handed to him. As JJ Hudson now goes into the pits.
Yeah, Waiter's not looking very comfortable at all.
Muddy Biscuit gets the move done on XFRP.
Through the fast right-hander.
So Waiter is under a little bit of pressure from the McLaren. Meanwhile, wait, what? My screen's glitching out because it keeps on going back to Top Notch's Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, you just have to press the RB button.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I was having a little bit of trouble there. I was trying to get a view of Waiter's rear wing of the McLaren behind him. It kept on snapping back to the Alpha. But battles are still there. Some gaps have opened, some have closed. So we've got some battles there between Top Notch and Breezy, because Breezy's struggling to get past Waiter, and this is holding him up perfectly so Top Notch can get the move done, but still vulnerable is Waiter because he's not got any DRS at all.
Is Breezy going to send that?
Yeah, look, he backs off. There's also a surprise. I mean, like, all the Honda-powered cars are all at the back of the grid. Element Snow, JJ Hudson, RSF1, Ice, Sturridge, everyone's all at the back, which is not good for them.
No. Steerage has nearly brought the gap. Yeah, he's brought the gap down to Shumpert to under a second now. He'll be receiving the DRS.
Ronix is still very close to Steerage. He's staying nice there, and
a gaggle of time penalties.
It'll be weird to see how the race is going to end with the amount of time penalties accrued by the drivers.
Yeah, it seems to be all at one corner. People get the time penalties. It's the, exit in the first sector, you go to the left-hander, the green part of the track, you just want to keep off of that because it's very tight on the track limits.
It's very, very close, and looks like got Top Notch now finally able to challenge. XFR Peanut now goes into the pits.
Boxing for hard tyres, I think. Element Snow with another time penalty. Yeah, hards on XFR Peanut. Stroll in the pits.
Yeah, Stroll's not been having the most amazing race. He's been battling with Element Snow quite a lot. Element Snow now went from last to 15th place, so 5 positions up for the Red Bull.
On the soft tyre. Must be 2 stop in them.
Unless there's rain coming and he's looking to maybe make an aggressive push. All we know.
Yeah, it's a shame there is a comms Jeff, so he could tell us.
Oh, but then where's the fun? It's a surprise. Thank you for the 40 viewers, by the way. It's very nice to see. Meanwhile, on board with Muddy Biscuit in the Haas, who's trying to catch up to Rip in one shot in the racing point, and he's having a little bit of trouble there with the back end. But he's still keeping it going. Brave Container. He's also up in 14th, and he's actually challenging John Digweed in the other racing point. Oh, this is actually a battle that's about to unfold. Remember, Braver Container started from near on last on the grid. John Digweed has no ERS or well, actually no, he's got the ERS and he's burning it like crazy. Braver's using the DRS assistance to get closer, but look how much of the battery he's preserved. He's practically got a full charge, and he's waiting for the perfect moment to turn it on and get past the racing point. It's just not now, looks of it, but it goes a bit wide there into the right-hander.
Yeah, effects of the dirt, hitting the front wing of his Mercedes car, losing about 20-something% downforce. I think it's about 21.5, I'm not entirely sure.
And then brake smoke as well won't help the car as well. I'll actually make it go a little bit more uneasy. Breezy is up in 8th position. Oh, we've got a problem down below. I think that's Ajax. Lost it a little bit on that chicane.
Yeah, I think he's overheated the tyres a little bit, and there's a bit of gravel on his left rear. It's allowing Leon a look.
And John Digweed is being challenged by Brave Container down the inside and looks at the racing point, covers him off. Oh, and a Ferrari's gone down the back. That looks like that Stroll.
Oh, there's a Red Bull round, I think. Yeah, it's Element.
Oh, no.
There's a bit of No, they're a bit quite far apart.
Cars are pitted. Ajax and Waiter. I think the mediums are now starting to fall off. Meanwhile, Moronix has lost pace.
Oh,
actually, this is not
retired.
good. Steerage has lagged out of the race. It's desynced, and it held up steerage enough to buy Shrimper some time to move. A safety car?
Yeah. Ajax DNF'd in the pits.
And that triggered a safety car.
Drive-through penalty for Shrimper.
Oh, Shrimper. The race leaders received a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. But actually, look at what Shrimper's doing. He is, but he's blatantly still racing. Shrimper's going to get disqualified if he keeps this up. He's speeding under the safety car. And Stroll! We just lost Stroll. Did he crash in the pit lane? Yes, he did! Stroll crashed in the pit lane. I told you he would. And there's a bit of tyre.
Oh, has Moronix got damage from that?
Might have sustained some.
No, his car's good. Shrimper disqualified.
Shrimper!
He's
still racing. What was he thinking? Shrimper disqualified from the Spanish Grand Prix for ignoring multiple warnings from the safety car, receiving 3 drive-through penalties, and apparently when you hit strike 3, you're out.
I'm not entirely sure that for his game the safety car was out. I'm quite surprised that there's a safety car at all, because Ajax retired in the pits and there wasn't any contact on track.
That just blatantly ruined Shrimper's race, because this game does glitch. I don't even know if the game told him there was a safety car. I'm pretty sure the game just was like, still racing conditions, and then suddenly he's picked up a safety car. No, not safety car. I picked up a penalty. The safety car came out before Ajax retired.
Oh, is it Element?
It can be triggered by a spun car. It's not uncommon. It can happen. However, steerage is looking pretty good because, he's on fresh hards. He's in the lead. He's got K-Mag behind him. Moronix 3rd. Gruntashafy's 4th. Top Notch 5th. Breezy 6th. Stitchin 7th. Waiter 8th. One Shot 9th. And Muddy Biscuit collects 10th place. And it looks like I got a 3-second time limit penalty there. I think that was to Rip in One Shot. No, sorry, that was to John Digweed. Sorry, that was to Ewan. but this is very, very good for the Honda-powered cars who have been trickling along trying to make up some form of pace. Sturridge can now have the ability to catch up back to the grid, and so does Element Snow. By the looks of it, though, Sturridge's car is among all of the cars in the safety car pack. It's not actually doing that great. Ice is actually Element Snow's down the very far back of the pack. Vettel, while everyone's rounding the grid, do you want to go over the penalties so far?
I can, yeah. Race director. Steerage has received only 2 warnings. K-Mag has only 1 warning. Moronics has 2 warnings. Grunty has 1 penalty. Notch has 2. Breezy has no warnings at all. Steerage has 1 penalty. RSF1 Waiter has 1 penalty. One shot has only got just the 1. JJ Hudson 1 penalty. Peanut has 2 penalties. Leon has 2 as well. Braver has not received any. Heights hasn't either. Element Snow has 3. And Storage is 0 as well.
So it's been established that the game never notified Shrimper of a safety car out on the track. To him, it was still green flag conditions, and he was able to race normally, and the game had in turn disqualified Shrimper from the Spanish Grand Prix. This not being at the fault of the driver, this is a game bug, and looks like F1 2020 is not ready for this kind of racing. Meanwhile, we restart under the safety car conditions. Shrimper pulls away massively. Steerage pulls away massively from K-Mag, and he loses the back end a little bit going off the final corner. And it looks like that little bit of oversteer has compromised him, and that's allowed K-Mag to actually close the gap stupendously. Yeah,
Moronics really caught out on that restart, nearly 2 seconds behind K-Mag.
And it looks like Catastrophe is already bearing down on Moronics, and Top Notch is actually bearing down on Catastrophe. It's already good racing back from the get-go, and as we get to the second sector, the grid looks like this. It's Steerage first, K-Mag second, Moronics third, Catastrophe fourth, Top Notch fifth, Breezy sixth, Stygian seventh, Waiter eighth, One Shot ninth, and Muddy Biscuit rounds off in the 10th position. Meanwhile, it looks like the battle for the lead is staying very close. Steerage is being challenged by K-Mag. K-Mag being previously a race winner. I think it was Bahrain where K-Mag actually collected his first race win in the Renault. So it's very close racing at the moment. Braver Container makes the move on JJ Hudson, and actually looks like quite a few cars have gone down in that hairpin. And that's the Red Bull.
It's JJ.
I think there might have been contact between Braver Container and JJ Hudson by the looks of it, as Braver makes a move on JJ. Suddenly JJ falls down the back of the grid, but it's too soon to tell. Maybe JJ made a mistake, but anyways, we will resume with the racing, and it looks like Catastrophe is staying very nice and close with the Division 3 Season 1 champion, and he's doing very, very well. XFR Peanut collects a 3-second time penalty, and it looks like JJ Hudson, he's retired in the pits. Not a way you want to end your first race.
No, sure isn't. DNFing the race.
Oh no! Sturridge ran out of Xbox Live membership during the qualifying.
So is his current AI mode then?
It is indeed. It's just trickling along, really.
Well, I mean, he's not out the race. A lap down.
I don't see where his AlphaTauri should be. Meanwhile, Waiter's staying on the back of Stygian's car. Steerage, the race leader, collects a 3-second time penalty, and so does Element Snow.
DRS is now enabled. Waiter looking to get by the Renault Stygian, gaining quite a lot on the straight, but not enough towards the braking zone. Be looking for a dive maybe in the next couple of laps, especially with the DRS assistance, because I don't believe Stygian has the DRS on Breezy. Just over a second it looks. No, it's gone down 9/10. Going back to the front, there's a battle for third between Notch, Grunty and Moronix. Moronix not looking like he's got the pace to keep up with K-Mac.
Now that he's got the hard tyre on, I think the pace that the Mercedes was showing has fallen off a little bit. I think it just shows how hard it can be, well, forgive the pun, how difficult it can be driving with the hard compound tyre, especially on a track like this.
Yeah, he seems to be losing quite a bit of time to K-Mac and Steerage in the final sector, losing nearly 6/10. Maybe
and that's allowing Top Notch, by the way. Top Notch has actually got the DRS on Grantashafy. Grantashafy only just narrowly being in the DRS window on Moronix's Mercedes. Moronix being the sitting duck. Element Snow has received a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that is both the Red Bulls done. And it's a virtual safety car?
Yeah, I don't think retiring in the pits works to stop the safety car from coming out. I think that may be what happened with Iox and the original safety car.
I think it's just this track in general, because we've had many drivers in the beginning of the season retire on the track. Not retire in the pits and be fine. I think it's just Spain doesn't really seem to like it. Which is going to be interesting, not just for Division 2, but for the rest of divisions to follow.
K-Mac!
Oh, K-Mac! K-Mac's received the penalty! For speeding on the virtual safety car as it ended!
Normally. Yeah, K-Mac's racing normally, and Steerage. They're both. Well, no, Steerage is backing off, but it looks like K-Mac isn't.
No, they just sped back up to racing conditions just as the virtual safety car ended, and unfortunately K-Mag being awarded a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car, which will only do more good for Steerage in the McLaren. So K-Mag needs to get the move done, and then he needs to make up the ground to get ahead and make up some of the lost pace. Safety car came out before Iox, said Roberts. What has happened to this race is absolutely bizarre. We've lost both the Red Bull, both the Alpha
Ferrari,
still holding on, both Ferrari, and we lost Iox as well. It's a shame if you're racing with those teams, because today you're not bringing anything home, but that's 5 cars already gone, and we're only on lap 19. And it looks like, we had 2 safety cars and a virtual. Waiter collects a 3-second time penalty. But we have to keep an eye on K-Mag.
Yeah, you'll have to box soon.
Maybe we have to remind everyone to please mind their language in the chat, please. I know things have happened in this race that are not good for people and they're not happy, but please refrain from using strong language, as we're trying to keep this family-friendly content. And Steerage collects the fastest lap of the race at a 1:18.7. That's 6/10 of a second slower than Valtteri Bottas.
I think Bottas set that time on soft tyres, didn't he, at the end of the race?
He did, I think. So a hard tyre nearly matching the pace of a soft compound tyre. Top Notch, however, he's really getting close to Grantashafy's car. Meanwhile, Breezy's battling Stygian. Stygian covers off the inside line.
Oh, pushes him
McLaren tries
slightly
to hold it off,
wide.
and Stygian forces him off the track.
Oh, and it's allowing Waiter to go through, and Waiter is through.
Oh
pushed him
no, the
off.
McLaren! He catches the gravel.
Peanut with
That's
another
not
penalty.
Waiter's fault. That's not Waiter's fault. He saw an opportunity. He took it. There was no contact, but it just looks like the McLaren ran out of road, especially after what happened between himself and Stygian.
Oh, one shot's looking for a look down the inside, and he has. But Breezy holds it on the outside. Goes a little deep into the corner, but maintains 8th. Grunty with a 3-second time penalty.
3-second time penalty. K-Mag is now in the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. Meanwhile, Moronix takes 2nd place, but he's not able to he's not able to catch up. Meanwhile, Ripping One Shot is now able to go round the outside, and look at that! He just shots across it, and past the McLaren he goes, and he moves up into 7th place. And there goes Shrimper. He left the lobby. He stayed for a little bit to watch the battle, but after being disqualified from the Grand Prix by a game bug, unfortunately his race was cut short.
It's quite a large gap, isn't it, between Moronix and Steerage? 4 seconds.
Can the hards go to the end, by the way?
Yeah. The pit window opened when the safety car came out.
Now imagine if a 2nd safety car arrives. A 3rd safety car. If they get another safety car, then they could go on to the mediums. But I think if there is no safety car, then these guys could just, they have to stay on the hard. So they have to, I know they want positions, but they need to make sure that they don't overdo it on the tyres. Otherwise, it could really do them in at the end of the race. But meanwhile, Top Notch has now gone for 3rd place. Grantashafy's got nothing.
Yeah, Notch has got this in the bag on the straight, yeah. But Grunty's going to look down the inside.
Oh, no, he's hit the back of him! Late braking by the Williams, unfortunately, did him in. Catastrophe falling down the pack, and he has to get going. Otherwise, the game would then disqualify him.
Yeah, a little ambitious there from Grunty.
That is very ambitious there from Grunt. Yeah. That's unfortunate, but in the meantime, that's pushed everyone else up a position. Moronix 3rd, Stygian 4th, Waiter 5th. The question is Grantashafy going to keep it going? Meanwhile, Steerage is actually continuing to go faster. He just did the fastest 2nd sector. I think we're going to see a new fastest lap, sorry. And he's actually opening the gap between himself and Moronix. Moronix is just not able to catch Steerage, as McLaren is just taking this away.
He still has the time penalty though, but at the moment he wins by a 2nd.
Moronix has one as well.
No, Moronix has got a clean race. One more warning and he gets a penalty though. Same with Steerage actually.
Stygian is still staying close to Top Notch. And Waiter isn't doing too bad actually. Waiter's managing to stay within the DRS window between himself and the car in front, and also he's kept a good gap to Ripping One Shot. Speaking of Ripping One Shot,
Yellow
he's
flag.
Oh! That's Peanut!
Oh, it's Peanut. Yeah, he was in a great race with Peanut as well. The 8th places.
Unlucky to Peanut. But good on Grantashafy. I know he made a mistake there with that late move down the inside on Top Notch there after Top Notch just got by. But he's keeping it going. He's in P13. He's got a bit of work to do to catch back up to the grid. But, you know, he's keeping it going. Lando cheering on Moronix. He's telling him to push, but unfortunately it doesn't look like Moronix has got enough to keep it going. Breezy. Breezy's pressuring that racing. Look at him go. DRS enabled with a full battery. This is going to be easy. Ripping One Shot. That's 2 maneuvers now he's trying to do. Maybe to shake off the McLaren. Not quite. And there's another off there in the back of the pack. That is Peanut yet again in the Alfa Romeo. Still going though. Right where it's due. No, persistence is key. If you have any like penalties that might get awarded after some maybe some like moves or anything like that, if you finish the race, at least it's not going on to your next race time. You know, you get it all done there and then on the Spanish Grand Prix. You know, I think it's always better to finish.
Yeah.
Even if it might be boring, you're at the back of the grid, there's nothing to do. When you cross the line, if anything happens, then at least it's not affecting where you're going next. Because I'll tell you what, if I had a 10-second time penalty or anything like that going on my head going into the next race, it'll kind of already be like you've been shot in the foot and you haven't even started the race yet.
Yeah, you can also try and steal fastest lap as well.
Yeah, I mean, fastest lap would be easier. Obviously, have to keep it in the top 10. Peanut receives a 3-second time penalty yet again, down in 14th place. Top Notch is just trying his best to catch up to Monix. He's got DRS. Stygian staying on board with him for a little bit. He's staying with him because the gaps have opened up. Actually, Breezy is still near Ripon. Let's have a little look at the gap to the leader. Currently, as it stands, if there's another safety car, that's the gap as it is. The gap between Steerage and K-Mag is 18.5 seconds.
Yeah, that is
That's
quite
the gap
a big
between.
gap.
Yeah, so if any of the leading cars make a mistake, it would be good for the cars behind to capitalise because the gap is still very. Look at the pack. Moronix has only just entered the hairpin, and K-Mag has just come out the chicane with the dodgy, the dodgy curbs. Everyone's been invalidating the whole qualifying.
I don't know whether Moronix is tyre saving or not, but pace-wise, he's not really looking to the same level as Steerage, even though they were quite similar in qualifying, with only about half a tenth in between the two drivers.
Here we go. The battle for second place is now commencing as Top Notch is going to try and maybe get a little look round the outside. He does. He gets a little look on Moronix side by side going into turn one, and they touch wheels, and it's a freeway battle, and there's just shot Top Notch around, but he just saves it.
Yellow flag,
hell,
sector
guys.
3, it's Eitz, I think. Yeah, he's Fox.
It's a
Don't know why
battle
that
for
was,
second between three cars as Stygian gets a little look down the inside. Top Notch catches the grass. And this battle holds for the moment, but once we get into the next straight, this is going to get juicy. As now, in a moment, Waiter's catching up to the back of the Renault and the Alfa Romeo. And the Mercedes. Could you think it could be a potential podium for... Well, actually, it could be a potential podium for Breezy, Ripon and Waiter if they can capitalise on Moronix's loss of pace.
Yeah, I'm a little confused to where Moronix has lost the pace, because he was looking very racy in qualifying, but doesn't really seem to have any pace in the race at all.
And in the opening stages of the race, he had very good pace. But once he got those hards on, it was just all seemed to have just gone down the river. But now, on board of Stygian, who's now got a DRS on Top Notch. Top Notch trying his best to catch up to Moronix. Stygian's going to make the move down the inside into turn one. And Moronix is going to try and cover him off, but late braking, Stygian tries to stay ahead. And Top Notch touches the inside, he's spun!
Oh, not another one. He's still got the overtake mode on as well.
Oh, that's a very bittersweet moment there. Well, not even bittersweet, it's just bitter there for Top Notch. He's still in P8, he's still in the points, and now his tyres are going to have suffered from that. Waiter moves up to 4th, Ripon one shot up to 5th, Breezy 6th. Stygian, however, has now got the pressure being applied by the Williams behind. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that incident. They both stayed very close to each other, but that contact there, that could have been avoided. In the next lap, we'll be doing the penalties. So, say lap 28, and we'll look at the penalties for one last time. Let's have a little look at K-Mag. K-Mag is actually on the back of John Digweed. John Digweed being the car that's the final point-scoring car on the grid at the moment. But could that change now with K-Mag. Oh, we've lost
Peanut.
Peanut crashing in the mid-sector.
Is that going to be a safety car? Oh,
It's a virtual safety car.
Everyone keeping that delta. It's a drive-through right now will pretty much put them at the points.
2 safety cars and 2 virtuals.
Yeah, a little strange how a spin can cause a full safety car, but an actual incident will only cause a VSC. Game's very weird with the way it hands them out.
I mean, IOX retired in the pits. There you go, DRS enabled. This time no one received a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car, which is what we like to see. Moronix is kind of in a lonely second place at the moment. Stygian receives a 3-second time penalty. I'd say now would be the perfect time to maybe do the penalties.
Yeah, will be after this was steerage has just the one, it hasn't changed. Moronix hasn't got any. Oh no, Moronix received a penalty under the lap 26, so he's got a penalty. Stygian has 2 penalties. RSF1 Waiter has 1, 2, 3, 4 penalties. One Shot has 1, 2. Yep, One Shot has 2. Breezy has run a near enough perfect race with only just the 1 warning. Muddy Biscuit, another guy who has run a perfect race. RSF1 Notch has got 2 penalties. K-Mag, just the drive-through, which has compromised his race quite heavily. Brewer Container just has the 1. And Leon has got 4 penalties, the same with Waiter. Well, Leon has 5 now.
Oh, Braver just collected another penalty there, by the way. Steerage still holds first, though. It's only 4 laps to go of the Spanish Grand Prix. Actually, let's have a little look at the driver of the day. It's hard to say, but I think it's definitely between John Digweed and Braver Container from what the game's going to do. But I have to say, in terms of pace... Oh! He's going to try and maybe make a move down the inside, but Stygian covers him off. Waiter has to wait. He was going to make the move for third. I was going to say, a definite contender for good pace after struggling quite a lot during the race. Well, one of the contenders at least has to be Waiter. Actually, I have to say it's Muddy Biscuit and Waiter. Muddy Biscuit has done really well to claw his way back up to 7th. It's hard to say between the
2. Yeah, both teams having some unfortunate incidents, so getting the points home will be very beneficial to them. Looking at the penalty situation, Waiter will probably drop down to about 7th, I think, with his 12 seconds.
Very unfortunate. It's Brantashri also collects a penalty. It's hard to say who's going to be finishing where, but for sure at the moment, even with his penalty, actually no, because they've both got a penalty apiece. No, Steerage is still fine. Moronix needs to pass him to secure track position. Stygian has got those 2, so he's got 6 seconds. Waiter's got 9. How many? I think Rippin had maybe 2 or something, but. Anyways, we'll find out at the end of the race. 2 laps to go, and Steerage is still holding on to the lead quite dominantly. It's been very lonely, actually, for the McLaren.
Yeah, it sure has.
And actually, it's a good point from Button there. It might be a double McLaren podium if Breezy keeps up this pace.
Yeah, he's in the 3-second window of Moronix and Stygian.
And Top Notch collects a penalty as well, so all that's done is secured the job even more there for Breezy, you know, so he's not really have to worry about the cars behind him that much. Ripping One Shot is now pressurising the Williams of RSF1 Waiter. Actually, Ripping One Shot could be a potential podium sitter. All depends really into the end.
Yeah, I do believe One Shot has had a good race penalty-wise.
Here we go, DRS enabled, and the ERS. He's going to look down the inside, and Waiter's there, and they almost make contact, and Ripping One Shot goes wide.
Breezy onto the back of One Shot. Yeah, Breezy's in the overtake mode, going to the inside. Is he going to do the dive? No. Oh, he's still there.
He's looking still. No, he just backs off. Very good battles. Stygian, however, is staying with Moronix. He just can't seem to be shaken off. We're about to near the final lap as the race leader Steerage is about to cross the line for the last time in, under race conditions, about to cross the line one more time, and then we'll proceed on to the final lap of the race. Meanwhile, a battle for second place is really happening behind. However, Stygian and Moronix pulled away slightly from Waiter in fourth, and Ripping One Shot in fifth, Breezy sixth. So this is a three-man battle for fourth. Knowing that they might jump Stygian in terms of the penalties. Waiter now a sitting duck. DRS and ERS is happening once again. Waiter's trying to stay on the outside line going to turn one. However, Ripping One Shot moves down the inside line and gets that move done. Well done to Ripping One Shot. And now it's left Waiter vulnerable to Breezy in P5. Ripping One Shot can try and push as much as he can.
All this battling is helping out Stygian try and get the gap. Ooh, barely 3 seconds, if not a little less.
A bit of a quiet race in terms of some battles. I know we've had quite a few DNFs of 6 cars, which is quite it's quite a shame, especially after Shrimper being disqualified when the game didn't even notify him of the safety car. That's very, very bad luck there. As the race winner is now crossing the line as he rounds the last corner. Steerage, what a dominant drive today. He takes the win as he qualifies on pole and wins the Spanish Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Moronix crosses the line second, Stygian third. One Shot now crosses the line up into fourth.
Breezy third.
Breezy does move into the podium positions in third. Muddy Biscuit fourth. I have to give Muddy Biscuit driver of the day. I have to say, Muddy Biscuit has driven superbly. And to get through with little penalties, I have to give Muddy Biscuit driver of the day.
Yeah, got to agree there. Muddy Biscuit, no penalties at all. Getting up to P4. Waiter getting to all the way down to 8th. It's a bit of a disappointing result. Especially for Cousin, he was 4th.
But well done there to the top 3 and Muddy Biscuit. And look at that, even the game agrees with us. Muddy Biscuit gets awarded driver of the day by the game. So I think it's a unanimous agreement there. That Muddy Biscuit coming through penalty free, but a double McLaren podium today. Moronix doing very well to hold on with like very poor grip from those hards. But if you're the McLaren team principal today, you're going to be happy because you know you've just collected 40 points.
Yeah, I don't think they can complain at all.
So while I go over the classification for the race, that's all, we'll get the guys in. So starting on pole and finishing on pole is Steerage in the McLaren, holding on to second place as well, not losing or gaining any positions as Moronix, so a very steady race for the pair of them. Breezy moves from 11th to 3rd and penalty free, so very good job there by Breezy. Muddy Biscuit as well, getting up into 4th and collecting driver of the day. You might as well invite him as well, by the way. Stygian 5th, Ripping One Shot collects 6th, K-Mag 7th, Waiter 8th, Top Notch gets 9th, Braver Container 10th, Catastrophe 11th, RSF1 line collects 12th for John Dickweed. RSF1 Ice gets 13th, Sturridge gets 14th, and then going over the DNF cars is Peanut 15th, Element Snow 16th, JJ in 17th, Shrimper 18th, Iox 19th, and Stroll rounds off the grid. How many of the guys have we got? We've got 3, haven't we?
I think so, yeah.
Have you got Muddy Biscuit in as well?
Muddy Biscuit, of course.
Yeah,
No, we've only got 2. We haven't got a race winner. Dominant victory there for the McLaren driver.
Has Steerage got a mic though? That's the question. Anyways, while we wait for Steerage, do you want to interview third and I'll interview second?
Yeah, I'll interview third. Super easy. You managed to get P3 on the penalties. I'm assuming you are really happy. Could you run us through your race?
Right, so basically, qualify. I didn't want to risk it on the soft because I feel like if I went on the soft, my race is pretty much already said I'm over because it's just so slow. Not necessarily because obviously fall in the right positions. You don't want to be on the soft, I reckon, at the start. So I just risked it, and obviously I got 11th. It was annoying, but I mean I was on the fresher tyres obviously from the start, so I was a bit quick off the start and got into 8th from 11th line, like the first couple of corners. So I was always good, and I was sticking behind. It was very much like a queue for the first 10 laps, just staying behind the person ahead, and the guy behind me would just stay behind me. And then eventually we had a pit stops and all that, and then the safety car and all that sort of drama. But when Sturridge had pitted, I was lost about 2 seconds from him pitting, so I lost the position. I think it might have been K-Mac. I think it might have been K-Mac, but it could have been someone. And then, it was Notch, I think. And he managed to get ahead of me, so I lost that position, but then I just stayed behind one shot as much as I can, because I knew he had 6 seconds. I knew someone else had 12 seconds. So I thought if I got no penalties there, I'd hopefully just pull myself up to somewhere high up, and obviously I got third, so that was good.
Yeah, well done on your podium. I'll hand it to Primus Gaming to interview P2.
Rightio, and also well done on your P3, Breezy, well earned. And now Moronics. I know this is not the place where you'd like to be. You was hoping to go for the win today, but unfortunately when you got onto those hard tyres, your pace just seemed to look like it kind of dropped a little compared to your run on the medium tyres. It really didn't look like you enjoyed those tyres, especially that those hards just weren't your friends.
Yeah, mediums I think I only kept up because of the DRS, which kept K-Mag behind me. After the first safety car came out, K-Mag somehow jumped me in the pits, and I still don't know how he jumped me in the pits somehow. And then got an unfortunate drive-through under the VSC. After the safety car went in, I still got yellow flags, so front 2 went away, and I couldn't go. I was stuck. So yeah, that compromised my time and exit. And then it's just a hold on to second after K-Mag went in for his drive-through kind of race. Steerage was just too fast. I wasn't going to keep up with him. So I was just focusing on the people behind me and hold on to P2.
Yeah, and even though you would have preferred the win, P2 is still very good, especially after the fact that your teammate had a bit of a poor start with having a qualifying ban. You managed to bring home some good points, but it looks like just Steerage was the cut above today, and he managed to stay ahead of you and led the race from the start. But still, you had some really good pace there. Even though you're struggling on those hard, you still held on, which is very, very good work. And how are you feeling for Monaco next week?
I don't know. It's a bit of a turn up and see what happens kind of race. So hopefully good. But it's Monaco at the end of the day, so we'll see.
Rightio, and well done for getting second place. Vettel, would you like to interview Muddy Biscuit, or would you like me to?
I'm not bothered. You can, I can.
I'll do it. Muddy Biscuit, hello. Make sure you've included your audio in the party, please. Has he got a microphone?
Is that better? Oh, there we go.
Hey, Muddy Biscuit?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you, mate. Have you got your audio included in the party?
Yeah.
Awesome. Right, well, I bet you didn't expect to be invited to the party, because we have decided, as well as the game, unanimous decision to award you Driver of the Day. A clean race. You had a very poor start in Q2, getting knocked out. You was down in the mid part of the field. You managed to capitalise over the safety cars and the virtuals, not getting any trouble whatsoever with any penalties, and then you collect a nicely earned P4, and definitely respect there, and also that Driver of the Day. But how are you feeling about today's race?
Yeah, I didn't really actually have the strongest pace, like you said. Went out in Q2, even though it was 7/10 separating the top 12 or something. But yeah, didn't have the pace in qualifying, and then struggled on lap 1. I think I lost 2 places, just not getting being on the wrong line through the corners in the first lap. And then even I felt like actually my pace wasn't the strongest for the whole race, but like you said, I kept it clean. I felt like after the first stint, after I lost track of the cars ahead about lap 20, I thought I might as well keep it clean, avoid penalties, and see what I can do. And 4th's a great result from 12th on the grid.
It's a very, very good work, though. You managed to hold on, though, which is very good. And Spain being a track that's definitely more difficult in terms of it's a very difficult track to not get penalties on, especially with the mid sector. It's quite a harsh track. But how are you feeling for Monaco? That's the.
I think if I can keep it out of the walls, or at least keep it out of the major damage, I think you can normally get some good solid points. I think that'll be my task, just avoid any major collisions, avoid too many hard knocks, and just see where I can finish.
Rightio. Well, that has been the Grand Prix, the Spanish Grand Prix for F2. Very good work to everyone. Unlucky for some who didn't manage to finish the race, especially we have to feel very sorry for Shrimper, as the game did not give him the message of a safety car. It was still green flag racing for him, and then suddenly on his end he's just racing and then got disqualified from the Grand Prix as he was leading. So it's definitely a real kick in the teeth there the game gave him. But anyways, it's been a very, very interesting Grand Prix. Don't you think so, Vettel?
Yeah, it's been very interesting. Racing all the way up down the field and to the end. Congratulations to everyone on the podium and our Driver of the Day, Muddy Biscuit.
Yeah, it's a unanimous decision, really. Good to, him getting that. And the main thing, Vettel, got Monaco just round the corner. Are you excited for that in terms of comms? Because I know in terms of racing, you and I will not be looking forward to that track. But how are you feeling for comms-wise? Are you looking forward to Monaco?
Yeah, it can throw up absolutely anything. Everyone I've
Makes
ever
it fun
done,
to watch.
It's always delivered, yeah. Funny enough, though, whoever's started on pole has not won whenever I've done comms.
That is true. That is true. No one is safe at all in Monaco, not even the race leader. It's like no one's invincible. But that has been the Spanish Grand Prix. So to go over the classification one more time before we let you guys go for tonight, collecting Driver of the Day and also claiming P4 is Muddy Biscuit, so well done to him. In third place is Breezy, second place is Moronics, and then claiming the win and not turning up to the party has been Steerage. So if you guys want to see more F2 action, sorry, but that's it for the week. You're going to have to join us next Sunday in Monaco if you want to see more F2 action. But if you want to see more Spanish Grand Prix action, please tune in tomorrow at 8 PM when you see the F3 guys duke it out on the Circuit de Catalunya. Personally, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone, and we will see you in the next one. In the meantime, please take care and stay safe.